Hi, I'm Jim Smith. I'm a Boston area wine distributor, and for 7 years I was co-host of the TV show Two Guys and a Lot of Wine on WHC-TV in West Hartford, Connecticut. I want to welcome you to the 2021 Wine, Women, and Watches fundraiser to support the American Clock and Watch Museum in Bristol, Connecticut. Now, unfortunately, we can't be together again this year, but I did come up with another exercise we could all do at home, and we don't have to drink the exact same wines to get the same experience. And what I want to talk to you about tonight is acid in wine. Wine is actually one of the most acidic foods you will consume in your life, along with vinegar and citrus fruit. And you can actually measure the acid level in the foods you eat. There's something called a pH scale. A pH scale goes from 0 to 14. 0 to 7 deals with acids, and 7 to 14 deals with alkalines. And wine occupies the space that's between 3 and 4 on that scale. If you think of 0 as being completely acidic, that'd be like a car battery, and 7 being neutral, that'd be a glass of water. Wine's kind of in the middle there. And when you think of this scale, don't think of it as being a linear scale. It's actually logarithmic. So what that means is, if you're drinking a wine that's a 4, and then you switch to a wine that's a 3, the 3 is not going to be one level higher in acidity than the 4. It's going to be 10 times higher. So when we start off tonight with the Marsanne, which is a 3.8 on the scale, and then jump all the way to a Riesling, which is a 3 on the scale, you're going to see a huge amount of acidity difference between the two wines. But before we jump into all that, I want to get your palate warmed up, and I want to do that with something you're probably a little more familiar with than some of these obscure grape varietals. I want to start off with a little orange juice. Now when you look at the pH scale, orange juice is a 3.6 on the scale. Not a whole lot of acidity to this, but go ahead and give it a taste. You get a lot of fruit with that, but just a little bit of bite, not too much acidity. And we're going to jump now to a lemon, and a lemon is a 2 on the scale, so this is a lot more acidic than the orange juice we just tried. And you can start to feel your mouth pucker up with this. My mouth is getting really watery as well. So much more acidity to the lemon juice than the orange juice. And finally, we're going to switch to lime juice, which is a 1.8 on this scale. Most people think lemons are more sour and acidic than limes, but that's not true. The lime is going to be a lot more acidic, and you'll see that right now. Completely tart. All right, we got the mouth warmed up. Let's move on to wine. We're going to start off with a Marsanne. Marsanne is a very obscure varietal. It comes from the northern Rhone Valley in France. It is also grown in California and Australia. The one I'm having tonight is from California. But it's a very low acid wine. Go ahead and give yours a try. And you'll see that it's almost comes off as a little flabby. But this is a good choice to have if you're having some very rich seafoods like lobster or crab or Chilean sea bass. It also works well with chicken with an herb sauce. It plays very well with delicate foods like that. We're going to move a little farther up the acidity scale now to the Viognier. This is a 3.3 on the scale. Go ahead and try yours. You'll see a little bit more acidity from this. Yeah, and this is a wine that plays well with some delicate foods like scallops. Moving even farther up the scale, we come to Sauvignon Blanc. Sauvignon Blancs are very versatile wines. They play with so many different foods. You could serve all kinds of poultry with this, chicken, turkey. You could do pork with this. You could also serve this with some of the Asian foods, Thai food or Vietnamese food. It's such a versatile wine. Go ahead and try yours, and you'll see how much more acidic this is than what we've had previously. You get that tartness in the mouth, that kind of, the mouth puckers up, and then the tongue starts getting really watery. And that's a great reaction to the acidity in the wine. And we're going to finish off with Riesling. Riesling is the most acidic grape that winemakers grow, and because it's so acidic, the winemakers often balance that out by leaving a lot of sugar in the wine. Some leave a lot more sugar, and so you get that really sticky, syrupy, super sweet Rieslings, and others leave that sugar level kind of low. and really let the acidity shine through. What I'm drinking tonight is from Germany, the Mosel Valley in Germany, and they produce some of the best Rieslings in the world, and they really like to showcase the acidity. And go ahead and try yours, and you'll see what I'm talking about. Such a great balance. There's a little sweetness, but a lot of acidity in there to balance that out. I love to serve Riesling at Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving is the hardest meal of the year to pair wine with. There's so many different foods on the table, so many different textures, so many different flavors. It's hard to pick one wine that will pair with all of those different foods. Riesling is the best choice to do that because with high acidity, it plays well with the heavy cream sauces and the dark meats. If you're serving turkey legs or pate, it's going to work wonderfully with those. It also brightens and enhances and clarifies some of the vegetables on the table and the bread products. This is always my go-to for Thanksgiving. Well, that concludes our little talk tonight. I want to thank you for joining me, and thank you for supporting the American Clock and Watch Museum in Bristol, Connecticut.